You guys, first up, Merry Christmas. It's now December 25th where I'm at, so ho ho ho, Happy New Year's. Second up, Oda. He decided to drop a steaming hot pile of coal on my doorstep because he handed out another God Knight L. How is that even possible? They're not even here. And they're catching strays. Welcome back, you guys. One Piece chapter 1170. Brief spoilers have dropped. When you're watching this video, there's a good chance that more spoilers have dropped that I'm not talking about here. Keep that in mind, but we will come back later on when more additional details do drop that are significant. But for here, we just got a couple of bullet points coming from Scotch Informer over on Twitter. So let's get right to it. So the first thing they talk about in this chapter is about how no one has been able to eat the legendary Elbaph Devil Fruit simply because Ragnar the squirrel has been protecting it the entire time. And I guess one of the main things I'm wondering right now is who put Ragnar on this mission? Like, was it Joy Boy? Was it like the first generation of ancient giants? Or is Ragnar in this fruit just like that, since they're both like Zoans? Do Zoan fruits talk to each other? They have wills of their own, maybe. But yes, now we cut over to Loki, and during this beginning segment of the chapter, he is fighting against Ragnar for the fruit, which I bet is very odd. I feel like it would be kind of like fighting a ghost. You're like, wait, how do I fight this thing? Like, there's no body here. Do I just break the handle or something? We cut over to Shanks and Gabon, who are still fighting King Harold at the moment, and good old Scopper Gabon explains how to damage and beat immortal opponents. That's right. He already knows by this point in time, and that is because him and the Roger Pirates have been fighting the God Knights often. We didn't know about this beforehand, and this does perfectly explain Saint Somers' reaction when he came here to Elbaph. He's like, oh my god, Scopper Gabon, what are you doing here? At first, I thought maybe they met later, because last chapter, Shanks was explaining how the Mark of the Abyss works to Gabon. So naturally, I was like, oh, maybe Gabon hasn't really ran the Fade with these guys that often. But nope, apparently, Gabon and the Roger Pirates were fighting these guys often because they were trying to kidnap and abduct Shanks for Garling. That's right. Hey, don't say Garling is a bad dad. He tried. The God Knights tried to save Shanks from the pirate life, but Roger, Gabon, Rayleigh, and all of them, they were simply those boys. That's insane, dude. That's so insane. The craziest part, and this is because of the leakers, right? Maybe when we get the chapter, it looks a little bit better for them. But it's like, yo, they got defeated every single time. Gabon doesn't even say like, oh, it was a close battle. These guys are hard opponents. Oh, the toughest opponent out on the open seas. No, 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 we did not get that. No hype whatsoever. The God Knights were just handed L after L after L. So much so that Gabon knows how to get around immortality. And he explains it here, and it's nothing super shocking. He simply says, all you have to do is coat your attacks in Conqueror's Haki, which causes them pain, slows the regeneration, and that's pretty much it. You just keep on beating them repeatedly until they simply cannot fight anymore. The Ooga Booga answer. That's pretty much what it is, right? You just go over there, just spam attacks, and then eventually the Holy Knights will give up because they're in pain. That's so funny, dude. I thought there was going to be like a grandiose answer to this. Like, oh, you know, you have to like master your Conqueror's Haki. You got to do this or that. Nope. You just beat them black and blue, brother. All I got to ask is why? Why, Oda? Why can Garling not get a single win? The thing is, what this hurts the most isn't even Garling. Garling already looked bad coming off of God Valley, sure. But here's the thing. There are a lot of God Knights we still haven't met. Current day, a lot of them are still silhouetted. We don't even have names for some of the ones we saw at God Valley. And you're telling me they got L's before they were even introduced? What's going on here? Oh my god, dude. I can't keep fighting for these guys, man. Oh, dude. The thing is that they still look really cool. They are aura farmers. But that aura now is stinky. It doesn't smell good, bro. I just don't know. They can only beat helpless women and children. Oh, no. Yeah, at least I can say this. They don't give up. And I think that is a very important lesson. And that's something that I just feel like anime in general tries to teach us. No matter what you're trying to achieve, no matter how impossible it is always possible as long as you don't lose hope. And these God Knights, actually, yeah, you know what? These God Knights, despite losing to the Pirate King's crew over and over and over again, they kept coming back. And you know why? Because Garling's son was on the line. They were trying to stop this kidnapping. They just wanted to give Shanks lobster. They wanted to give Shanks slaves. But Roger stopped it. Who's the real bad guy here? So now we cut back over to Loki and Ragnar. They've been fighting this entire time, and now they're both exhausted. Loki's hammer breaks, and that is when Ragnar gives in. The hammer ends up transforming into a cute little squirrel, and that's pretty much it. We don't really get like this grandiose explanation of what Ragnar actually is. You know, it doesn't say, oh, mythological devil fruit model Rotascor, which is what people are running with right now. And it doesn't even say it's a regular squirrel. So that is still left up in the air as to what's going on with it. But like I said in the previous video, but because we're in Elbaph and because we're surrounded by so much Norse mythology, I do not mind the Rotascor idea. So now, we see that since the squirrel has yielded to Loki, it goes over and opens the devil fruit chest. And Loki eats the fruit. His hands then transform into massive claws, but of course, Oda, being the madman that he is, he doesn't give us the actual transformation. He doesn't really show us all too much. It is all still silhouetted. So now, you might be asking, Sai, when he fights King Harold, surely we're gonna see it, right? Oda can't silhouette an entire fight. Lo and behold, he does, brother. We get Loki versus Harold in this chapter. The fight gets wrapped up, and while Loki is fighting in his mythological Zoan form, it's silhouetted. We do not see what Loki is during the battle. That is next level silhouetting, next level blue balling. Oh my god. And as far as how this fight ends, Loki does beat King Harold in his human form with Ragnar by simply coating it with Conqueror's Hockey, and that is it. He hits Harold, and Harold then shatters to pieces. So now, as far as what Loki's transformation actually is, we have no clue. Scotch Informer doesn't really go into detail as to what the silhouette looks like. He simply says that the only thing we can really make out are indeed the claws. And let me tell you, brothers, claws, man, almost every mythological creature out there has claws. You know, that doesn't really narrow it down too much. You could say it does, but think to every monster or creature you can imagine. Most of them have claws, man. So yes, whether you think it's Nidhogg, Jormungandr, a basilisk, which I thought was kind of fun, whether you think it's the world serpent from One Piece, the karmic hellfire serpent, I do think there's a lot of good options out there. And, you know, based off of this chapter, or at least description, it doesn't sound like it's really counting a lot of things out, right? Oh, big claws, guys. Oh, what could it be? I have no idea. And it kind of extends to Ragnar as well, right? Ragnar being a squirrel. It's like, oh, is it Rotascor? Is it a new thing? Or is it potentially just a squirrel? And one thing too, I talked about this in yesterday's video, but I was like, oh, you know, if Ragnar is a squirrel, maybe Usopp can coerce it and get Ragnar eventually, just for a little bit, right? Because we have seen that Usopp has wielded hammers pretty much all throughout the series. So I'm like, oh, like Usopp is his island, maybe he gets a little Ragnar buff. And the reason I'm bringing this up again is because I'm currently watching Dressrosa. I'm going through like a whole rewatch for like the third, fourth time, and I forgot, but when we hit Dressrosa, Usopp made a lie, and he said he was related to Mont Blanc Noland. And the Tontatas looked at Usopp, they saw his stupid head, and they were like, yeah, look at Usopp, he has a nut for a head. And I'm like, wait, he lied about that. The Nolan family is all about having chestnuts for a head. The Tontatas saw a nut. What if Usopp nuts with Ragnar, and because it's a squirrel, it likes Usopp? Is that possible? I know it sounds crazy, harebrained even, but we've seen weirder things with Usopp, brother. So I do still like that theory a lot. And now that we see that Loki does have a mythological Zoan fruit, it's like, okay, if he lets go of Ragnar for like 5 minutes while Usopp does something weird on the side, wouldn't be super crazy, right? So overall, loving this chapter. I do like that Loki seems to be something scary, something menacing. I hope that when Oda unsilhouettes him, he looks badass. You know, that was my main thing with thinking that Ragnar last week had a different devil fruit or ate the mythological Elbaph devil fruit. Because I was like, yo, like, what are the chances that Oda puts 2 mythological Zoans in a room, or 2 Zoans in a room even? I was like, oh, it's pretty low, right? There's no way. But lo and behold, we got it. So why not go all out and say Loki looks like a badass? He's going to be freaking crazy and all that good stuff. Also, now that we see that, you know, Loki beats King Harold and Shanks and Gabon are here, Gabon knows what Loki is. Gabon knows this form. Will he spill the beans? And same with Shanks. Shanks knows the form as well. Interesting. How does Shanks beat Loki? Hey, don't get me wrong. Shanks is that guy, but Loki doesn't seem like a pushover, brother. This devil fruit really gave him some crazy ass buffs, especially because of the spoilers, right? After Loki's done fighting Ragnar, Scotch Informer says that, oh yeah, they're exhausted. And yet he goes on and beats Harold? Whoa, dude, that's crazy. That's some crazy stuff. All right, so as I was wrapping up this video, Worst Gen decided to drop one more bullet point, so we're here for it. But they say, Gabon and Shanks fight Harold in this chapter. We see it, but they are powerless before Harold because Harold possesses immense Conqueror's Haki, and it is far too strong for the both of them. And Harold, while pushing Scopper and Shanks back, he goes around and he slaughters all of the castle guards. Harold was a monster, brother. And you're telling me that Loki, day 1 with his Zoan devil fruit, comes in and wins? Brother, dude, we've never seen somebody get this powerful day 1 with the fruit. Look at Kaido. Kaido looked good, right? Little bowl of breath on Emu, but he wasn't the monster he is today. So Loki, over the years, has only gotten stronger with the fruit. Is he even awakened? You know, he doesn't awaken day 1 if I had to guess. So, my God, whatever he has, it is genuinely busted. It is that crazy. But now I'm just wondering, brother, how does Shanks beat him? Yeah, how does Shanks beat him later? I gotta see it. But with that being said, though, guys, let me know all your thoughts on this chapter down below. What do you think about Loki's fruit? What do you think about Ragnar? My wild Usopp theory. And by the way, people have been saying, oh, Sai's like the biggest Usopp fan. I'm not. Hey, don't put that on me. I'm not an Usopp fan. I just think it's a plausible theory. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. Let me know how you guys feel about Shanks and Scopper versus King Harold. And how do you feel about the God Knights now that Oda decided that they are bums? Okay, Oda decided that a long time ago. I don't know what Oda's planning. I'm gonna be so serious, dude. Like, Oda introduced this brand new faction post-Wano. Post-Wano, that's the very first time we heard about the God Knights. And ever since then, they've just been losing. They haven't really won a single time. I've never seen a faction get treated this awfully. You know, Admiral fans thought they had it rough. You know, Big Mom fans thought they had it rough. Oh, dude. We God Knight fans? We're in the trenches. But yeah, getting back to it, let me know your opinions on this chapter down below. And of course, if there is no full spoiler video, then we will be tackling this comment section during the post-game video. So make sure to drop all your thoughts down there. But yes, until next time, guys, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year's. You guys take care, stay safe, and have a great rest of your day, brothers.